What's up YouTube, David here from Zephyr Wargames, bringing you, as you can see before you, my Five Nights at Freddy's, my Puss In Boots, my Fluffle deck. Now this is with the new support, the Kraken, the Penguin and the Octo, all from Fusion Enforcers. Now this deck is really fun to play, and it's taken out the camera. It's very nice because some of the reprint, I'm pretty sure all the main cards that were hard to get have all had reprints, and they've all had super reprints. So Fluffles have now got a blingage, and by blingage what I mean is everything has had a rarity bump, even Tiger to a secret, which looks beautiful. So everything in the deck has had a rarity bump. Everything is so much easier to get a hold of. The only ones you'll struggle to get a hold of now is Kraken. I think Octo is a secret, or I know Octo is a secret in the new set. However, you probably only need it at 1 or 2. You don't need it desperately. Whereas I think Kraken will be a harder one to get a hold of. Now, I would class this as a budget deck, but until I see the price of Kraken, I don't want to label it as the £30 or less kind of deck. But I still think with the fact that all the reprints in this deck has made it's just so cheap to pick up. And I'll explain some of the cards as we go through, because I have tried to make this as cheap as I possibly could. So without further ado, we're going to crack straight into this because I really enjoy this deck. It's so fun. It's so right. It's like the reason I call it Five Nights at Freddy or Puss In Boots deck is, you know, with Puss In Boots when he does that whole like baby doll eyes, that's kind of like these guys, and then when he kicks ass, it's these guys. So yeah, I really like this deck. It's really fun. So I'm going to zoom in and we're going to get started. So you play Triple Fluffle Dog, all been reprinted in a super in the new set. Very nice rarity bump for a deck that doesn't see as much play as it probably should. It's really fun. When this card is normal or special summon from the hand, you can add one Edgient, Saber or Fluffle monster from your deck to your hand except Dog. Only use the effect of Dog once per turn, so you just search your deck. Very nice. 9 times out of 10 you can search them out for what you need in your hand to make your poly plays, or you'll search out Bear to drop Bear for your toy vendor. Triple Edgient Chain. When this card declares an attack, you can add one Edgient Chain from your deck to your hand. Very rarely do that. If this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, add one Frightfur card from your deck or from your deck to your hand. Only use it once per turn. So you're normally searching out Frightfur Fusion, and Frightfur Fusion is basically like the banished poly. Next up, I play Triple Fluffle Bear. You basically send this card from hand to grave to add to set a toy vendor directly from your deck, activate the toy vendor, and go from there. You can, I think I've only ever used this effect like once or twice, you can tribute this card, target one poly in your graveyard and add it to your hand, but with the cards I've put in my deck, you don't need to worry about that. Triple Fluffle Wings, it combos off very nicely with Bear, because you discard Bear for toy vendor, activate toy vendor, send Wings, reveal a card, no matter what it is, doesn't matter. Then you use Wings to target Bear, banish the 2, draw 2, destroy your toy vendor, and get a plus off of that. So Wings is very good in this deck. So basically, if this card is in the graveyard and you control a toy vendor, you banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Fluffle monster in your graveyard, banish it, and if you do, draw one card. Then you can send one toy vendor from you control to the graveyard and draw another card. Only use Wings once per turn, so it's a very nice 2-draw card. Triple Kingdom Swamp, which got a reprint in the Yu-Gi decks and got a very nice super reprint in Fusion Enforcers. This is basically, he replaces himself for any fusion material monster needed for a fusion summon, but the others must be correct, or you dump him to grave and add a poly. I mean, the biggest weakness of the deck is just having that poly in hand, but when you have it in hand, oh, it's gold. Now I play 2 Fluffle Penguin. Again, very nice card. This is one of the new ones from the set, Fusion Enforcers. During your main phase, you can special summon one Fluffle monster from your hand, except Fluffle Penguin. So this allows you to get into your rank 4 plays a hell of a lot quicker. This effect can only be used once while this card is face up on the field. If this card is sent to the graveyard as fusion material for a fusion summon of a Frightfur fusion monster, you can draw 2 cards, then discard 1 card. Only use the effect of only use this effect of Fluffle Penguin once per turn. So it helps. You can get your dog out, and your dog can then get his search. You can probably get your owl out, and your owl then gets your poly search. So it just helps speed up your combos. Very nice. Speaking of owl, we play 2 owl. When this card is normal or special summon from the hand, you add 1 poly from your deck to your hand. You can pay 500 life points, fusion summon 1 Frightfur fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. You can only use 1 owl effect per turn. Not one. You can only use each effect. Only use 1 Fluffle Owl effect per turn, and only once that turn. So if you search a poly, you're not fusioning. If you don't search a poly, you're fusioning. So Owl is very, very nice. Obviously, you drop Owl, you've got Penguin. As long as you've got a chain in hand, off you go. Double Edgent Sabers. Again, this got a very nice super reprint in the Fusion Enforcers. And he basically just recycles himself by putting a card from your hand to the top of your deck. One Fluffle Octopus. Now, this is a new one. I only play it at one. So when this card is normal or special summoned, you target one Fluffle or Edgent monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. If this card is sent from the sent to the graveyard as fusion material for a fusion summon of a Frightfur fusion monster, fusion, you can target up to 2 of your banished monsters, return them to the graveyard. You can only use each effect of Fluffle Octopus once per turn. So you can easily bump this up to 2, not an issue. I just quite like the ratio at 1. My deck is at 41 at the moment. I'm trying to find what to cut. So that is it for your Fluffle monsters. A very, very nice chunk of Fluffle there, just to help you with your toy vendors and combos and whatnot. Speaking of which, Triple Toy Vendor, all got a super reprint. Very, very nice. Like I said before, you discard one card, draw one card and show it. If it's a Fluffle monster, special summon it, otherwise it goes to the grave. When it's sent from the field to the grave, you add one Edgent Sabers or Fluffle monster from your deck to hand. So again, a lot of searching. Triple Frightfur Fusion is your banished poly. Basically, you fusion summon one Frightfur Fusion monster from your edge deck by banishing fusion materials listed on it from your field or graveyard. Only activate once per turn. Now, I only play double poly and one fusion substitute. Just in case I draw into the fusion substitute, dump it, I can banish it and draw one off a toy vendor. I've got enough in my deck to recycle my polys, so 2 is fine. These did get a very, very nice original art reprint in the Fusion Enforcer set. By all means, put those in there. I play double Fusion Recovery, target one poly and one fusion material that was used for it in your for a fusion summon in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So you can poly, then poly again, and you just go off. And there's a very nice combo with Sabretooth and Tiger to basically clear your opponent's front row monsters or back row. I play 2 Fusion Recycling Plant. Now this was the promo from Raging Tempest. Yeah, Raging Tempest. Once per turn, you discard one card, add one poly from your deck to your deck or graveyard to your hand. Once per turn, during the end phase, you can target one monster in your graveyard that was used as a fusion material for a fusion summon. This turn, add it to your hand. So, it's a field spell. You can put Terraforming in this deck. Like I said before, I just don't... the space is so tight in this build at the moment, and I'm open to tweaking it by all means. You've got your Fusion Recoveries, which help you recycle. You can obviously focus more on this if you want to. And it kind of helps out. The reason I've kept Owl in there is for its own fusion effect. So I can use that to fusion effect, and then I've still got polys to go off, so I can constantly fuse in a turn. So the discard effect is very, very nice, because if you want to get your... So there may be times where you don't have a bear in hand to use your wings combo. So you discard wings for your toy vendor, but then you've got nothing for wings to target, so you can activate this to get your poly, and you can just keep going. So this helps massively. You could definitely put it, add in your terraformers, or even put this up to 3 and add terraformers in. Double Twin Twister, because this deck likes to discard. Now, I personally would maybe want to put one MST in there, but, you know, it can, you know, bait out a lot of back row. The best thing about poly is you can't strike it. You can only strike the effects of the monsters you bring out with it. Now, the combo I tend to like to go for is Tiger to try and bait out their back row. So if I target their back row, it's all going to get popped, or they're going to activate their strike to clear it, and then I can go off again with more polys. Now, that is it for the spells. Next card is basically my budget version for barrier. So for you guys out there that have the money, you can put these as barrier. Otherwise, Graisley Prison. Now this got reprinted in Fusion Force as well as a very nice super. If you control a face-up monster that was tributed, ritualed or fusion summoned until the end of your opponent's next turn, neither player can Synchro or XYZ summon. Synchro and XYZ monsters cannot attack, also their effects are negated. It's a very, very nice barrier for stuff like Zodiacs, Wind Witches, and stuff like that. It's a very nice, very cheap barrier. So you can easily bump this up to 3 if you want to. I side in the third. We then play the one Solemn Warning and the one Fusion Reserve. Now, the only reason I play the Fusion Reserve is purely just to hunt out that Edgimp Chain or Fluffle Bear if I absolutely have to. This card could come out. This could make my card deck down to 40, but I've just got it in there as a safety precaution right now. Right, now let's get onto the extra deck, because the extra deck is where it turns Five Nights at Freddy's style. So, we play 2 Frightful Kraken, which is the brand new card that came out in Fusion Forces, 1 Edgimp monster, 1 Fluffle monster. Once per turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls, send it to the graveyard. So it targets, but it doesn't destroy, which is beautiful. This card cannot attack directly the turn it sends. The turn this effect is activated. This card can make a second attack during each battle phase. Doesn't even need to be in a row. Doesn't need to be after it destroys a monster. It can just attack twice. Once per turn at the end of the battle phase, if this card battled, you can change this card to defense position. 2200 attack, 3k defender. Happy days. Sit on that one. So it's clearing monsters without just by targeting, without destruction, so they don't get their destruction effect, and it can attack twice. So, you know, beautiful. Next up, we play double Frightfur Sabertooth. Now, everyone knows what this does. If it's used with 3 materials, it can't be destroyed by battle. All Frightfur monsters you control gain 400 attack, and it can revive a fusion, Frightfur Fusion. When this card is fusion summoned, you can target 1 Frightfur monster in your graveyard and revive it. Special summon it. Beautiful. Triple Frightfur Tiger. It's a shame I didn't get its third secret, but I'll be on the lookout for one of those. Now, you don't have to play this at 3. You can drop it down to 2 if you wish. The fact is you can only control 1 tiger at a time, but it's very, very nice. Because if your opponent warnings it, or strikes it, basically when this card comes on the field, the amount of materials you use to fusion summon it, you can target that amount of cards on your opponent's side of the field and destroy them. All Frightfur monsters you control gain 300 attack for each Fluffle monster and Frightfur monster you control. So there's a massive attack booster, plus he gets to target. So if my opponent strikes my Frightfur Tiger, because I've targeted their stuff, that's it, I've cleared a strike. I can then go into a second Tiger and target again. If they've got a second strike, fine, whatever. I'll go into my third Tiger, I'll clear your back row, I'll then fusion into a Sabertooth and bring my Tiger back. Now obviously the Tiger won't get a pop effect, but Tigers gain, both of these on the field, straight away, are gaining an extra K. Frightfur Tiger gives 600 and Sabertooth gives 400. Boom, straight away. Very, very nice card. I absolutely love Tiger. I'm so happy that it got reprinted in a secret. Next up, double Frightfur Sheep. Yes, because it's got reprinted as a super, that's right, a super in Fusion Forces, it's no longer a £15, £20 card. Hooray for that. I very rarely see myself going into Sheep. You can easily drop this down to 1 if you want. It is purely there for your first turn defensive play. So basically, if this card battles, your opponent's cards and effects cannot be activated until the end of the damage step. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, or if this card in your possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, you special summon it, and if you do, it gains 800 attack points. Only use this effect once per turn, so you bring back a 2800 monster armades, basically. Next up, one of my favourite cards is Frightful Wolf. This got a very nice super reprint as well. Basically, the amount of fusion materials used for this card is the amount of attacks it can make. This guy on his own can clear the board very nicely. Use as many materials as you want. You could probably use 10 materials if it's late game. You absolutely have to. And because he's got 2k, as long as you can beat over the monster, he just goes attack, 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 and keeps going for game. Very, very nice card. I played the one Frightfur Bear. Now, this you can easily card. This is just a personal choice of mine. Purely because when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, I can equip that monster to this card as an equipped spell card. The equipped monster gains 1000 attack. So it's basically to stop people that want their stuff sitting in the graves, like snows and stuff like that. You take their snows just to boost him up a K, and then obviously he's used for Fusion Reserve to hunt down Fluffle Bear. Easy take this out, no argument with that at all. And then obviously you take out your Fusion Reserve as well. Now onto our rank 4 engine, just an Abyss Dweller, Staple, Castell and Cowboy. Now these can be any rank 4s you want. I just think Castell is the best rank 4. You have to have this in every deck. Cowboy is just like, there's so many times where I find myself like, they've only got 800 life points left, it's fine, whatever, without having my Cowboy, and I lose the game. Or like they just clear my board, whereas Cowboy's a very nice end game to go buff gone, especially with Penguin. Abyss Dweller, Staple with Graveyard Effects. Now these can easily be changed and updated if you want. You can easily bump up some of these fusion cards because the amount of times you can fusion pump in this deck is unreal. Kraken can easily go up to 3, obviously your Tiger's at 3, and then your Wolves can go up to 3 if you really want to as well. But it's very, very rare. So, that is it for the deck profile. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. I will do a test hand video on this, just for you guys to kind of see what Fluffles can do. Now, they're very, very fun to play. You know, it's something different from the meta. If you fancy a change and you want to be able to pick up a deck, mine is Kraken at the moment because I don't know what its price is. But if Kraken does come out cheap and so does Octopus, you never know, you could be picking this deck up on very, very budget. So, Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and until next time, guys, happy dueling. If you like that video, why not check out our other videos available? We've got more deck profiles, pack openings, and of course duels. And don't forget to click on the most important button of all, that subscribe button, right in the bottom left hand corner.